the church, Christians, Christian families, those listening, pastors, whole churches, they should have an influence on the government, because the government, definitely, we see it affecting our culture and our homes. Do you have any maybe additional biblical support or historical support of how that has worked in a good way in our own country, where the church was able to influence the state the way that it should be?
Oh, yes, indeed, Isaac. Great question. Biblically speaking, I think of Daniel 3:28, where Nebuchadnezzar, after the three Hebrew children are in the furnace and they disobey the king's command, they exercise civil disobedience with good conscience in their religion. King said, "I'm going to burn you. I'm going to throw you into the fire." Well, they come out of the fire, and the king says, "Praise the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego," for they had the boldness to defy the king's command, and so now everyone should worship this awesome God. Well, so here's people engaging with state, in this case, civil disobedience, and affecting the state for the better. And then I think of Jonah chapter 3, where Jonah, a terrible missionary, he had a whale of a time getting to Nineveh. Jonah chapter 3 says that when the evangelistic word of Jonah reached the king of Nineveh, the king basically legislated morality. He and all his officials made a royal decree, that's a law, and he forced the people, because government is supposed to make law and enforcement, government is law enforcement. So the pagan king of Nineveh enforces upon the pagan Assyrian city-state of Nineveh, you should fast, you should stop doing evil and violence, and who knows? Maybe God will forgive us and not destroy this city, because God cares about cities, and God cares about government. God cares about morality. So here's my point. Jonah, the bad evangelist, went in, not unlike Capital Ministries, went into a capital and says, "Thus saith the Lord, O king." And guess what the king did? In the institution of state, after influenced by the Old Testament institution of church, we might call it, after influenced by that morality, he says, we've got to repent. And so, not unlike Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, a public proclamation, the culture's got to change.